My next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is create a new level. I'm going to do a little bit of profile machining with some tabs. So I'm going to call this profile with tabs. Now I have to use wireframe for this if I'm tabbing. Solid chains don't quite work yet for this. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is on that level, I'm going to roll the part over on my screen. I'm going to go up to my wireframe ribbon. I'm going to grab curve all edges. I'm going to click on that back face. And then over on the left, I'm going to ask it to simply do the outside perimeter. Sort of like a silhouette boundary, but maybe a little cleaner. Does a pretty good job. And then we end up, again, with sort of with a profile of the part. Lots of different ways to do that. Silhouette boundary also works pretty good, but that works for me. And then I'm going to go up to, again, my wireframe ribbon, and I'm going to grab a point position. But before I do that, in my point style, so I'm going to right click in my graphics window, get to my attributes bar. I'm going to change this to a square point style. Square points, and just to kind of place one, that's a square point, if you can see that. Square points are what I use for manual tabs. So if I lay square tabs or square points along this part on this wireframe for Contour Toolpath, that can trigger a tab. The best way to do that once you're making square points, and we'll just go ahead and we'll make them we'll make them a different color. We'll go ahead and make them red just so they pop a little bit. I'm not sure you're gonna see that. Is to go ahead and use something called Point Dynamic. Point Dynamic allows me to select an entity and then basically move my cursor along that entity. And when I want to, I can left click and I can place a point there wherever I want to. And then I just simply kind of blue check and go to my next entity. Now I'm putting these all in the midpoint, so technically I could have done that manually. But it does allow you to sort of place your points anywhere along that. And one of the reasons why you want to use Point Dynamic is that's one way to ensure that that point, wherever it is along that entity, is actually sort of intersecting or connected to that. They do need to be sort of on the line, right? So now that I've got that, I'm going to go over to my Toolpath Manager on the left. I'm going to go up to my Toolpath ribbon up top, and I'm going to grab a simple contour. We're going to go ahead and go in a clockwise manner here, and I'm going to go ahead and start this, say, out on this sort of rad there. Yeah, so that should be a clockwise cut. We're going to go to a slightly smaller tool. I think that 1/2" end mill might be a little large for that. So we're going to go down to an 1/8 inch. Again, just so we can get in there a little bit more. Your experience may vary. We'll see how it goes. Again, we're just trying to show you how to set up a basic tab run for a contour. So we'll just use that tool for fun. I'm going to go to my cut parameters. Again, nothing I really need to do here, although I do got to watch that some of the stuff I had for my previous operation, even though that was in a different part file, I got to watch for some of that. So computer's fine, left is good, tip, roll around sharp corners, that's fine, no stock to leave on wall. Depth cuts, not so much. Lead in, lead out, that's all kind of back to normal. Enter and exit at the midpoint, that'd be right about there. That's fine, just a little large. So what we'll go ahead and we'll do is we'll just kind of shorten that up a little bit. And I'm just going to kind of make these a little generic. Just say a 2020 with a 60, maybe a little bit of overlap. Nothing remarkable going on there. No breakthrough unless I want it. Again, multi-passes if I want it, but tabs is what I am looking for. So I'm going to go to tabs. I'm going to turn that on. I'm going to go ahead and set this up for manual tabs to use my midpoint. And I'm going to use square positions or square points for tab positions. Partial tabs, tab width, ramp angle, tab thickness, kind of whatever you need for that. I'm going to put my tab width at 0.5, 1/2 inch, ramp angle 45 degrees. Again, tab thickness 20 thou, that'd be plenty thick. Linking parameters, again, my depth is going to be incremental in 0. Top of stock we know is a positive 0.375 from our last one. Again, feed plane retract, somewhere around there, the same. Then I'll go ahead and I'll hit a green check. Now, if I kind of zoom in and take a look, I can see those tabs there. You can see the tool's actually lifting up. If that, you can see that the tool is actually lifting up where those red points are, or where those square points are. So our tool is going to come in, and I think I use kind of a small tool, and we can see those tab points right there. So when I get to there, I'm going to kind of hop up ever so slightly, move over, and then move back down. So that's my tab. If I were to go back and manually sort of move those points back and forth, the tabs would go with them. So I've got 3 tool paths here. Right? I've got 3 different tools, 3 different tool paths. Important to understand these all need to happen in the same position relative to each other. I don't want to kind of sort of split those apart. This is a single part. So I'm going to go ahead and save this out, and I'm just going to hit this. Basically, again, I might tag it as source or something so I know where it is. But those tool paths are now saved.